All right. Good morning. Welcome to Southwest Flavor. Happy Tuesday to everyone. It is football season. Football is underway, both in all the levels, high school, college, and the NFL starting in just a couple of days. And today we have a special guest, Coach Phillip Steward of Marana High School.
Hey,
welcome.
How's it going? Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thank you for being here. So we were talking off air about the incredible program that you've been building for the last 6 years.
Yeah, 6 years. Yeah.
Man, I didn't realize it's been so long.
Me either. I think my daughter reminded me. She was like, "You remember a few years ago?" I was like, "A few years ago? Well, we've been here that long." And when you think about it, I was like, "Yeah, we've been here a while now." So
yeah, and you guys have really, built something special over there.
Oh yeah, definitely, man. I think just putting in the work, the coaching staff we assembled around the kids is just coming in, and the coaches that they really want to be there. You know what I'm saying? I got coaches that really want to be there. They want to see these kids succeed. So having coaches like that, showing up every day in the summer is high.
Yes.
Coming every day after they get off work to come over there and help these kids. So having a coaching staff like that has really helped us push these kids over the edge, and it's been a beautiful thing. Yeah,
when everyone has the same vision, then you can go to the same place.
Definitely, and that's the one thing I try to preach from football to the other sports, to the administration, to the district. If we're all thinking the same thing, we're all heading the right direction, it's going to work. And not just for football, it's going to work for all the sports, because we all have that vision of we want to be good. We want to be, I don't want to say better than the rest, but we want to outwork everyone else. You know what I'm saying?
Sure,
we want our
school
to be the best school. And for that to happen, we all have to have the same vision and goals. So I think it's been going well. I think a lot of our sports at Marana has been doing really, really well. And and I tell everybody, football is just a different thing. It leads the way. When football does well, all the other sports does well. So
it's the biggest sport. Yeah,
it is the biggest sport, and I think we have the biggest numbers right now.
Yeah,
I think we have the biggest team in Southern Arizona. So this year we had about 150 kids come out. So
wow,
yeah, so it's growing. When I first started, we had maybe 60 kids.
Yeah,
and now we got 3 levels. Each level got about 50, 55 kids on it. So it's growing, and I'm excited about it because it's only up from here,
Yeah.
So
I remember probably about 10 years ago here in the Tucson area, Southern Arizona, I read a lot of articles about it, that just high school football was kind of dying. Like the kids weren't going out for it. And most of the programs throughout the city barely had enough kids to play.
Yeah, well, that's still some cases on some levels in certain areas. It's still that case. After COVID, it really went down again. And I think now, we're about a few years removed from it. It's starting to go back up. But it's still some programs that are struggling to get kids out. You know what I'm saying? And most teams now have gone to a freshman, sophomore level and just a varsity. So they're cutting out that third level.
Yeah.
But I think not having that third level, how are you developing your kids?
Right. You know
need
what I'm saying?
It. Because
you do.
When 150 kids, we all can't play on Friday. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So we need that other level to kind of help develop them. And like I said, this year, I have a few kids that had to play on JV for 2 years and now starting for me on varsity. So I'm watching it work. I'm watching them kids develop, or they might have to go play on JV their sophomore year and then come up to varsity. You know what I'm saying? Because they needed one more year to develop and enhance their skills. So I'm seeing it work, and I think it's important to have that level to keep developing the kids, because if not, I think if I have a big senior class like this, after this, we're no good for another few years until I get another big senior class, because you're not developing them at that, that second level. So I think it's important to have it.
Yeah. So take us through a little bit. So when you have a freshman class coming in, probably some of the kids have never played organized football before, right? I mean, you have kids that have played flag, and you have kids that have played on the different, recreational leagues, but you probably have kids that have never really.
Yeah, from the freshman level, I have some juniors. So every level, I have a few kids that, Coach, this is my first time. I'm trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
And the one thing I try to tell those kids is, look, I don't need you to learn football today. I will need you to learn the other things on coming to practice, being on time. Those little things are going to help you with that. I can coach you the game all day, but if you don't know how to do those little things, this is not going to work anyway. So teaching them for the first time, hey, how to get here every day, build that team camaraderie with them, showing them how to do any little thing. What's the 5-yard line? What's the touchdown? Like just teaching them the game of football before I just throw them out there on the field. Because throwing them out on the field, you're probably going to get hurt because you don't really know. So
Sure.
So that's why the summer for us are very important. You know what I'm saying? The summer is very important because with all the players, we take them back to ground zero. We start over. we teach them baby steps like if they was in Little League.
Okay.
And we start over. Even the seniors, the juniors, we start all the way over. And I know it's hard for some of my coaches and my older guys like, man, we already know this. I know. But if I keep teaching you this right here, the basics, when you get tired in the game, you know what I'm saying? The only thing you're going to go back to is the basics, and that's what I told you or what I taught you. So I think it's a madness to what I'm doing, but I think it's been working for us. And like I said, man, like
you've proven that's successful.
And then, like I said, when you get tired and you frustrated out there, most people just they roll. My coach called it rolling their own. They just go do their own thing,
right? Kind of take a play off,
but if you go by what the technique that we're teaching you and stuff, so when you do get tired, the only thing you do know to do is the technique I taught you, so it'll get you through that play to be able to catch your breath or so. So like I said, we're doing a pretty good job up there, and I give, man, all the credit to my coaches, man, because I couldn't do it by myself. There's a lot of kids out there, and my staff does a really good job of showing up, you know what I'm saying? And their families allowing them to be out there just as much as I'm out there, so I appreciate them.
That's true. That's true. And you talked a little bit when we were talking earlier about some of the kids are coming from just different situations. It's not the traditional 2-parent family home. A lot of kids aren't living in their own family's homes. There's some rough situations out there.
Definitely. Everybody has their own unique situation, and my job as a head coach is when they come out there to football, they can let all that go. You don't have to worry about a math test or English exam. You don't have to worry about any of that. Anything that's going on home, just be free from it for those 2 hours that you're out there.
Right.
And so
it's
when
a
I'm
refuge
out,
almost.
And that's what I'm saying. So out there, like I'm not a big cusser. I don't cuss at them and stuff like that because most of those kids want to be out there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Most of them trying to get away from something. I knew that's the reason why I went to school every day, because I knew I was get to go to football. So and so I don't want to make it hard for them because they probably getting yelled at or somewhere else, or people are just hard on them and they're just looking for a place of peace. And I want football to be that place of peace for them. So we're always doing fun things at practice and different things like that to just keep all the boys there. And we always hanging out in the summer. Like we're with each other probably more than they with their own families. You know what I'm saying? So I'm with those boys all the time, and I just think it's just a good outing for the boys. Keeps them out of trouble.
Yeah.
I'm in the summer, we working out in the morning, then we come back in the afternoon.
Right.
They don't have no place for trouble because I believe if they don't have nothing to do, they're going to go find trouble.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying?
That's
so
true.
Keeping them busy I think it's doing them really well.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember when my son was a freshman, so of course he wasn't, driving back then. And it just gave me a little bit of faith in humanity pulling up there at summer practice at like 5:45 or 5:30, and having all those kids out there. Like you said, those kids want to be there.
Definitely. Mommy, we got to get to practice today. I don't want to go out. I don't want to go out of town, or I don't want to go to Phoenix. Can I just go to practice? And so, like I said, I get it, and I be telling the kids, hey, if your parents said you got to go, you got to go. But the more times you can be at practice, I feel like the better you're going to get.
Oh, of course.
We're doing a good job of developing those kids, and just seeing them where they started to where they're at now is just, to me, like, dang, we're doing a really good job out here. So.
Right. And it's a team sport.
Oh, definitely.
So, you got to depend on the guy to the left of you and the guy to the right of you. So, if they're not there half the time in practice,
how are you supposed to
get that?
How are you supposed to get it even better? And the one thing we do preach there at Marana is family.
Yeah.
We're a big family, and because I believe it's easier to play for one of your brothers than just some random guy that just showed up. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
Like, this is my boy right here. Oh, I'll block for him. Don't worry about that, coach. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Or when we get tired, hey, like, he can pick me up because I'm his boy. Or if I'm messing up, he can get on to me because
they have that relationship.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? That's my boy. Yeah. Like, it's not coming from a bad place.
Right.
I'm clearly messing up, and he wants me to get it right because he wants us to win. So, and that's why we preach that family. We do a lot of things together to build that relationship because, hey, it's the tackle might not have blocked the DN and the quarterback got sacked. The quarterback, hey, it's okay. Get him next time. It's all right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Instead of jumping down his throat. But if he ain't been there all week, he might yell at him a few times like, hey, dude, what you doing? I ain't been at practice. So that's why I always try to build that camaraderie. I'm always trying to tell them, you got to be there. You got to be there for you to get better. Not being there and then coming and complaining why you're not playing. Well, we ain't trying to get nobody hurt, or you don't know what you're doing. So
yeah, you're missing some plays.
So that's why I encourage them to get there. And I think a lot of the kids, like you said, want to be there. They want to get better. Hey, I want to be that superstar, so come to practice and we can help you, guide you to that, to that thing. So
Yeah, I'm sure that you use the example sometimes that all the best players, the Jerry Rices and all the other guys, they're at practice. They were at practice early, and they stayed at practice late.
We had a kid last year, Desmond Roebuck. He's doing this thing up there at Washington. He was another kid, he was our best receiver. And I used to tell the kids, if our best receiver is staying after practice, do extra, and you're not our best receiver, why wouldn't you stay extra either?
Right, exactly.
like that's not making sense to you? Or hey, this guy, dang, he's coming in early before practice and catching balls, and he's staying late.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to play. You think I should be doing that? And I think one of the things, when me and one of my coaches, Coach Molly, she's new to us, our staff this year, she had said to one of the students, hey, you want to be a starter on varsity, but when we doing the conditioning, you're not even being the starter in the conditioning. So why would Coach Stu ever put you in the game?
Right. Yeah.
And I was like, that makes sense. And one of the kids came to me and said that. He's like, that made so much sense to me.
Right. Yeah.
I do want to play, and I want to play in front of those guys.
Right.
But if I'm coming in last and they coming in first, why would you put me in front of those guys?
Yeah.
And I was like, hey, I didn't know that. He said that really bothered him. And I was like, he said, so every day when we doing condition or anything, he's pushing himself to try to beat those guys because those guys are playing. So
it makes sense.
It makes a lot of sense. So when you think about it and sit back and think about it, dang, that makes a lot of sense. So like I said, we surrounding those guys, those players with good coaches that's giving them those good messages for them to resonate on and for them to go home and actually think about it. You know what? I do need to push myself a little bit harder. That's like if I'm at a job, why would my boss,
yeah. Why would you get a raise?
Yeah, why would I get a raise? I'm doing
a promotion.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a guy right next to me. He's staying late. He's bringing in more clientele, and I'm just going through the motions.
Yeah.
Why would they ever give me the raise?
Right.
Yeah, I understand why he got the raise. He's doing a little bit more harder than me. So it goes both ways, and we as coaches are trying to develop them not only to play football, to be good men, you know what I'm saying? Right. And to understand how they're going to have to eventually go to the workforce at some point. And so we're just trying to, raise good kids.
Awesome. Let's take a quick commercial break. We are going to go visit some sponsors. We'll be right back with Southwest Flavor.
In Marana, community isn't just where we live, it's who we are. And at the heart of it all is the Marana Chamber of Commerce. We are building a thriving community through connected business leadership. We start the month bright and early with Marana Mornings, sparking real conversations and connections. We celebrate growing networks at our 4th Tuesday mixers, hosted in exciting spaces. We unite visionaries and leaders at Impact Marana, driving meaningful progress together. We look ahead with Marana Insights, hearing directly from regional voices about what's next for our town. And we serve through the passion of our board of directors and ambassadors, creating a culture of belonging through service and leadership. Because of our members, we're not just doing more, we're becoming more. Together, we're shaping the future of Marana. We are the Marana Chamber of Commerce.
Looking for a delicious meal or a place to cater your next event? Visit Tucson Tamale Market, located at 7286 North Oracle Road. They're a family-friendly restaurant and market offering authentic tamales and local products. Don't miss out on their summer bi-weekly specials. Try a new $10.99 meal special every couple of weeks. During the summer, enjoy their gift card special. Buy $50 of gift cards for only $40. Stop by and see what's new at Tucson Tamale Market.
Estrella Insurance on Irvington Road will help you with all your insurance needs. If you feel like you have a hard case due to a moving violation, a DUI, a suspended license or a car accident, contact us and come to Estrella Insurance on Irvington Road and get a quote today. Open late hours y hablamos español. Estrella Insurance, an agency you can trust.
My heat and air were in a state of disrepair.
September is here, the kids are in school, football has started, and it's still hot in the old Pueblo. Picture Rock's Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing is your trusted, local, and family-owned air conditioning and plumbing service provider. We have been serving Tucson and the surrounding areas for over 24 years. Call Picture Rock's Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing at 520-492-0748 or go to picturerockscooling.com to set up your next appointment online.
Picture Rocks Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing.
therapeutic ranch for animals and kids is an inclusive community empowered and united by the strength of the human-animal bond.
It taught me responsibility. It taught me kindness and social interaction.
We have programs for every member of our community.
I love track because I have 2 daughters. We come out here and get all of our energy out.
Track is my home away from home.
You can make a donation or even become a monthly donor.
Thank you for supporting Track, Tucson's Ranch. We hope to see you here soon.
I've had water and mold damage in my house twice. Both times I freaked out, but I called Steamy Concepts right away. If anyone tries to tell you to use someone else, just say no way and call Steamy today.
About a year ago, we had a flood in our kitchen, and we didn't think to call anyone else but Steamy Concepts. They were very professional, and we really enjoyed working with Steamy Concepts.
Steamy Concepts accepts all homeowners insurance. Call Steamy today or go to steamyconcepts.com.
We are back talking with Coach from the Marana football program. So you were talking earlier about just developing the kids and helping them develop their character. One of the things is making sure that they're doing good in school.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean that's the primary reason that they're there.
Yeah, student athletes.
Yeah, they are student athletes. So just take us a little bit through, a normal week of just making sure that the kids are showing up to all their classes, grade checks, character checks.
So I'm friends with everybody on campus.
Yeah?
Yeah, I'm probably friends with everybody. The people that are the teachers, I'm always emailing them, hey, if you have any problems with my football players, let me know. You know what I'm saying? I send them a list of all the kids I have. Hey, these are the football players. If you have a problem, please let me know. The attendance office, who's coming in late? Yeah. Hey, coach, you had 3 or 4 boys came in late this morning. Because I'm always on them about those little things. Can't show up to work late. Or it's a game day, you showing up late, so now your day is kind of all rattled. Yeah. So like that, I don't think they understand all that goes into preparation for the game, you know what I'm saying? Or preparation for your day.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Exactly. You wake up late, now you're scrambling around, I got to get this, get in the car, I left something, I didn't bring my lunch. Like you got a lot going on, so I tell them, get up on time, get to school on time. Yeah. That'll start your day off right.
Even get a good night's sleep.
Get your good rest. Don't be up all night, or even go sit in class, sit in the front, make sure you're listening, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Stuff like that, because again, we're student athletes, you know what I'm saying? And I try to keep that on their mind because the season does get busy.
Yeah.
We leaving out of school early, so you're missing a test here. But it's your job, your responsibility to go back like, hey, ma'am, I wasn't here yesterday. Can I retake that test? Or what day can I come in and make up some of the stuff? So we're constantly preaching stuff like that. I'm always sending out grade checks. Yeah. Just like, I think we've only been in school, 20 days now? 3 weeks into it, I already sent out a grade check. And this one kid had asked me, why you sending a grade check already? We ain't even been doing nothing. You're right. We haven't been doing nothing at school that hard yet because we're just getting into routines and stuff like that. So nobody should have a bad grade.
That's true. Yeah.
So if I see a bad grade on any of their, grade checks, that tells me everything about them.
Yeah.
They ain't been doing nothing. They don't plan on doing nothing because we only been in school 20 days. And if you already letting your grade slack 20 days into it, what if we 2 months into school? You probably have multiple bad grades. So that's why I'm on them about little stuff like that, because if you can get it done now, you can get it done later. So I'm just on them. And then the off season is another place where I do the grade checks because they in other sports.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
I can get away from coaching. He ain't on me no more. But now I have the football class. So they in my class. So I can pull those grades. Hey, man, what are you doing? You letting the grades slack? Because as a freshman, you don't see the end goal. At some point, you might hit a growth spurt. You 6'4" now, coach, I think I can go play football and all this. And I'm like, well, you can't because of your grades. Because as your freshman, sophomore year, you wasn't thinking this. You know what I'm saying?
And as a freshman boy, you don't think about it.
At all.
Your vision is so short.
I know you seeing all these new high school girls, you in the new environment, your brain's rattling right now. And so that's why you got me. I'm here to keep you focused and to keep you on those things. So we really, really hard on our younger levels to kind of get them to establish those routines early, because later on, if you do decide you want to go to college and not even pursue football, you just want to go to college, you're going to have the grades in. So why not help you now? You know what I'm saying? I said football is the least of your worries if you can't figure it out in the class.
Yeah.
Because my coach told me that as a young guy. He was like, hey, if you can't figure that out over there at the school, this football stuff will never work out. You know what I'm saying? And nowadays with the NIL deal, they're giving kids millions of dollars.
A lot of money,
Yeah, the coach don't have time to be seeing if you go into class or not. Dude, I just gave you $1 million. You better be going to class. You better be eligible.
Right.
You know,
exactly.
I don't have time to be keeping up with you. That's something you should have learned in high school.
Yeah.
And that's why now it's not so many people going to those bigger Division I's, because those bigger schools don't have time to try to develop those things you should have been developing in high school. And I think at where we at Marana, we're trying to set those guys up for those things. So we're really, really hard on them. I know I'm hard on them. And I'm so hard on them to say that I was bad in school. I won't say I was bad, but I didn't see that either. And I had a coach come to me and kind of put that on me like, hey, you have to figure the school part out, or all this football stuff that you love doing.
It's going to go away.
It's going to go away faster than what you think. And I think that really made me sit down like, what you mean football going to go away? I thought I could play this the rest of my life. Like at that age, I was thinking, this coach don't know what he's talking about. I could play this all day. And then reality set in. I was getting older. My senior year, I seen guys getting scholarships. And I'm like, well, what about me?
Yeah.
And he was like, you got to take the ACT. You got to take the SAT. You have to do these things leading up to that. You got to have the grades to get into these schools.
Right.
They're not just coming to get you because you're a good athlete. You got to have the other part too. So that's why me having that experience going through those stuff, I can relate to some of the kids. Like, I get it is hard. And as a freshman, you don't see it.
No,
so I'm going to help you now anyway. So when you do, start to mature, you go in your sophomore, junior year, you be like, hey, coach, like, hey, I really do want to go do this. Yeah. The grades are there already because we've been on it.
Right,
so
you build that foundation.
We already, So now you're junior, senior year. Oh, this is easy. Coach, I only got 3 or 4 classes my senior year. I had 6 of them my senior year because I was trying to figure it out. I figured it out late, but I ended up figuring it out. So that's why I'm really, really hard on them, because I don't want them to get to their senior year and now we got to go repeat freshman and sophomore classes because now we playing catch up.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to just go get the other kid. He's ready to go. If I'm a scout, I'll just go get that kid down the street.
Mm-hmm.
He's ready to go. You still trying to make up for your grade. So
yep.
I'm on them, man. That's why they got to tell them. That's why y'all got me. I'm going to stay on them, you know what I'm saying? And I don't mind. It don't take no energy for me to go, hey, I go to council office, hey, can you pull out my football players' grades? I want to make sure, that they're keeping their grades up and stuff like that. So
excellent.
It takes no energy.
So who's up this week?
Oh, so this week we have Canyon View. They're coming from Phoenix. I think they got a long drive, actually.
Canyon View,
yeah. They're coming from Phoenix. They didn't get a game last week, because they had a game scheduled, and the team that they was playing didn't have enough players.
Oh, wow.
So that game got forfeited, and so they coming off not having a game. So I'm telling my players, we got to start fast.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because we know how a first game goes.
Right.
We've been in one, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Penalties, that's something they going to have to worry about. Penalties, missed tackles. We didn't already kind of had that. So, hey, if we can control the penalties, control the missed tackles, we should be fine, So we had practice yesterday on Labor Day at an afternoon, going late afternoon. So we got a little running in and stuff like that, because the one thing that I think makes us great, we can push our tempo.
And, that's good. Yeah.
And when we can push our tempo,
conditioned.
If we can push our tempo, it's hard to keep up. And knowing that this team's coming off not having a game, we're going to try to push the tempo from the jump.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm hoping they're conditioning, because we're going to push it. And I got to keep conditioning our kids to make sure we in good shape to be able to push that tempo. So.
Well, thank you, Coach. Thank you so much for coming on today.
Oh, man, I thank y'all for having me, man. I like coming out here, man. It's a good time.
We'll definitely have you come on again.
Oh, thank you.
All right. Let's take a sponsor break. We'll be right back with Southwest Flavor.
In Marana, community isn't just where we live, it's who we are. And at the heart of it all is the Marana Chamber of Commerce. We are building a thriving community through connected business leadership. We start the month bright and early with Marana Mornings, sparking real conversations and connections. We celebrate growing networks at our 4th Tuesday mixers, hosted in exciting spaces. We unite visionaries and leaders at Impact Marana, driving meaningful progress together. We look ahead with Marana Insights, hearing directly from regional voices about what's next for our town. And we serve through the passion of our board of directors and ambassadors, creating a culture of belonging through service and leadership. Because of our members, we're not just doing more, we're becoming more. Together, we're shaping the future of Marana. We are the Marana Chamber of Commerce.
Looking for a delicious meal or a place to cater your next event? Visit Tucson Tamale Market, located at 7286 North Oracle Road. They're a family-friendly restaurant and market offering authentic tamales and local products. Don't miss out on their summer bi-weekly specials. Try a new $10.99 meal special every couple of weeks. During the summer, enjoy their gift card special. Buy $50 of gift cards for only $40. Stop by and see what's new at Tucson Tamale Market.
Estrella Insurance on Irvington Road will help you with all your insurance needs. If you feel like you have a hard case due to a moving violation, a DUI, a suspended license or a car accident, contact us and come to Estrella Insurance on Irvington Road and get a quote today. Open late hours y hablamos español. Estrella Insurance, an agency you can trust.
My heat and air, we're in a state of disrepair.
September is here, the kids are in school, football has started, and it's still hot in the old Pueblo. Picturock's Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing is your trusted, local, and family-owned air conditioning and plumbing service provider. We have been serving Tucson and the surrounding areas for over 24 years. Call Picturock's Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing at 520-492-0748 and go to picturockscooling.com to set up your next appointment online.
Picture Rocks Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing.
Therapeutic Ranch for Animals and Kids is an inclusive community empowered and united by the strength of the human-animal bond.
It taught me responsibility. It taught me kindness and social interaction.
We have programs for every member of our community.
I love track because I have 2 daughters. We come out here and get all of our energy out.
Track is my home away from home.
You can make a donation or even become a monthly donor.
Thank you for supporting Track, Tucson's Ranch. We hope to see you here soon.
I've had water and mold damage in my house twice. Both times I freaked out, but I called Steamy Concepts right away. If anyone tries to tell you to use someone else, just say no way and call Steamy today.
About a year ago, we had a flood in our kitchen, and we didn't think to call anyone else but Steamy Concepts. They were very professional, and we really enjoyed working with Steamy Concepts.
Steamy Concepts accepts all homeowners insurance. Call Steamy today or go to steamyconcepts.com.
All right, welcome back to Southwest Flavor. You can join us every Tuesday and Thursday at 9 a.m. Our next guest is Reggie Geary. He was he's a former U of A and NBA player, and then he played overseas. There you go. You want to bring the mic up a little bit?
I do. There we go. How's
good morning.
Good morning, man. Good morning. Thanks for having me on again, Ron.
How you doing, man?
I'm doing good.
You just celebrated a birthday the other day?
I did. Awesome. August 31st, I turned 52, which is
okay.
hard to believe. Yeah. It really is. I still, ever since I've turned 50, just trying to wrap my brain around.
It's weird, isn't it?
Yeah, because you know how it is when you were younger man, when you thought of 50, you thought of an older gentleman. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. I think they even looked older back in the day. And so every time I look in the mirror, I'm like...
That was when we were... kids, 50 was really old.
It was old. And so my kids have given me a hard time, but I feel great. I feel blessed to still be on this earth and hopefully doing good things. But yeah,
you look good, man.
I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you.
So last time you were in here, you talked about your playing days and a little bit of your coaching days, but then you transitioned into broadcasting.
Yeah.
And you're an analyst for the U of A basketball games.
I am. And it all kind of... I didn't really plan on that. I just got out of coaching.
Yeah.
I'd been coaching for about 14 years, and things were going well. And I came back to the States and took a job at the U of A in the athletic department as an administrator, and we'll speak more on that. But one of the things that kind of came about from all this was Brian Jeffries kind of approaching me. I've known Brian Jeffrey, voice of the Wildcats. Yeah. He's been at the U of A, I think, since Coach Olson's first year. So we're going back to the 80s now.
I think so. Yeah.
Even though he doesn't look, he looks very young for his age. He's been there a long time, and he asked me, hey, would you think about maybe doing some broadcasting on the radio with us for a lot of the games at the time? It was the Pac-12, doing Pac-12 road games, and of course just had gotten out of coaching. I wanted to kind of stay in the game a little bit as best I could, and I thought, man, this is a great opportunity. I can travel with the team. I could work with Brian Jeffries, and so I agreed on it. It's been 6 years. I had no real training, besides being a player and a coach, doing press conferences or just doing interviews and things of that nature. So to kind of be thrown out there into the fire was very, very interesting.
Yeah, and I mean, how did that? I know how it came about, but how did you prepare yourself for that?
Yeah, great question. And people said, "Man, did Brian sit down with you and kind of walk you through it, or did you get some training?" And actually, there was none. It was pretty much just throwing me into the deep end and just trying to find my voice and get in a rhythm for kind of radio. It's a little bit different. Yeah. And so once Brian kind of explained to me some of the rules and kind of how when you can get in and when you can get out with some observations, I was like, okay, that's cool. And he just said, "Hey, man, tell people the why." That's what they want to hear. They want to hear, why is this happening? Give a little color commentary, but you're a coach, so be a coach. Explain to people why, and that's been good for me. That's been good for me. Ryan Hansen also works radio with Brian. He does all the home games. Yeah. But Ryan's his perspective is a little bit different. He's really into the numbers, and he's kind of in Brian said, "Hey, I don't want you to talk about any numbers. I just want you to talk about the why." And it took me a little time to kind of understand what that meant, but it freed me up. Because a lot of times the game's happening so fast, and if I'm looking down for my numbers and he's 4 for 6 and there's 46%, two things happen. I'm missing some of the action, and then a lot of times when you're talking all these numbers, people just get lost. It's too much for some. Sure. Some like it, but for some don't. Yeah. So that kind of freed me up, and I think I've got better over time doing it. I'm a quick speaker to start with, and so I was very, very quick, but I think I've slowed down a little bit, given it a beat, let it breathe a little bit, and I just feel very fortunate I still get to do it.
That's so interesting, and that's really cool because I didn't realize that's what you were doing, but you're basically telling us why they're in that place or why they ran that play.
Exactly. And like I said, I can put myself in the mind of coach. In my 14 years, I've been a head coach 8 years. I have over 500 games as a coach. Oh, wow. So I've sat in that first seat a lot, so I know what they're thinking. I kind of know time and score and what the players are going through, having done that as well. So I think I can bring a unique perspective to the game.
Yeah. Do you ever do a little bit of scouting of the opponent so that you can kind of tell their stories also?
Yeah, great question. Most definitely. Yeah. I treat it almost like a scout, like I was going into it, like we were gonna, like I was.
Like you're
coaching.
Gonna play them, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. The only thing I have to look at both teams. Yeah. And so I watch a couple games, probably 2 games. I'm obviously into the numbers. I'm looking into the local media, see what kind of the relevant story is. I'm just trying to get as much material, knowing that I'm probably not going to use 70% of it. Right. But you just want to be prepared, and so I'm watching a lot of games. If it's I seem to be watching games every single night. Because there's going to be Big 12 games I'm watching. I'm just kind of getting the national perspective. Okay. So when basketball season starts, I'm watching a lot of basketball and I'm doing a lot of research.
Okay. All right. So, and you're also listening then. You're listening to the commentators.
Yeah. It's so funny. I find myself, in actuality, a lot of times in my car searching for radio games. Okay. Even right now, like I'm listening to football games right now, or I want to listen to baseball games and just kind of get a feel for how they do it. I try to glean a lot off that. Yeah. There's so many different styles out there. Yeah. You learn like, man, this is a one-man team. This is a two-man team. These guys, you just see so many different styles. And so, that's just kind of part of the homework process.
Yeah. And you and Brian you guys gelled so quickly.
Yeah, I'm super fortunate. In all honesty, Brian Jeffries is an absolute pro. He is a Hall of Famer. He will go in the Hall of Fame. Oh, yeah. Multiples, and so a lot of times, with basketball, like him being the play-by-play guy, he's doing probably 80% of the talking. Yeah. So my opportunities are dead ball situations after basketball goes through the hoop. I have between the end line and half court. Sometimes Brian lets me in, but he is just so good at what he does. It's effortless. The names, the information. He does football, basketball, and baseball, and does it. You know what I mean? Yeah. He doesn't miss a beat. So I'm really fortunate there to work with him.
Yeah. So no one had a style like Bill Walton.
Yeah.
Was there anything that you got from listening to him?
Man, just the joy of it, just the joy of life. In all honesty, Bill, he's one of these guys people just loved or hated. In terms of the broadcaster. And at first, I was kind of like, what's going on?
What's he doing?
Yeah, he's just kind of firing off the brain a little bit. Really, we're just kind of what's pertaining to his day or what's going on in the world, and not necessarily with the basketball game. And that irked people. Yeah. But I think that became kind of his shtick a little bit. Mm-hmm. He had a great partner who he worked with, and the two of them kind of balanced that out. And over time, I started enjoying it. And just to add to that, you know, doing this radio gig, I started being around Bill a lot.
Oh, okay.
You know, and I knew him a little bit because his he had some older sons, older than Luke, that I would see in San Diego growing up. So I knew him a little bit, but didn't know him.
Yeah.
And this was an opportunity. I'm on the road a lot. I'm going into arenas, and there's Bill Walton right there. And
oh, wow.
He called me over every time and say, Reggie, how you doing? And we would talk a little bit. And he actually said, hey, next time I come to Tucson, we're going to sit down and grab some breakfast. And I said, oh, man, you know, of course. Yeah, I'd love to do that. He came to Tucson for a game, and we ended up grabbing breakfast. And he couldn't have been more charming and nice. And just he had that ability that when he sat down with you, that it was just you and him. And he took in my story and asked me about my family, and we talked about our families. And then that night, he used that material on the road.
Oh.
And so he's kind of won me over a little bit. You know, he just was just such a nice gentleman. And so when he passed, man, it was heartbreaking. You know, obviously Luke being a Wildcat, we felt for him and his family, and he was just such a great guy and such a steward of the game.
Yeah,
you know,
it seemed to come on quickly.
Yeah. And if you get a chance, you know, you definitely need to go watch. I think it's HBO did a 4-part series on his life.
Oh, really?
And it's incredible. You know, just to go through his childhood, the time at UCLA when he was an activist, and some of the things he was doing there, going to Portland, the injuries. I mean, he had a total life and well-rounded and well-lived. So I definitely would check that out.
Awesome. That is so cool. Yeah. Man, so what are you? Where are you up to now? You said that you're working for the U of A.
Yeah, and so 6 years ago, I got done coaching in Japan. Came back over to the States and was looking for an opportunity here in the NBA, and just for whatever reason didn't work out. Where I started kind of thinking, I might start thinking about my next move because I knew. Having left Japan, I didn't want to keep coaching. It was just a little too nomadic at the time. The kids were getting a little bit older, and so it was kind of NBA or bust at that point. And once I didn't land the NBA job after some interviews, I kind of pivoted and went over to the U of A and started asking around. There was a guy, Scott Shake. Shake's been there 35 plus years in business development in the Wildcat Club. And I just said, man, what do you do? Like, what do you do in his office? I've seen you since I was a player.
Yeah.
And he kind of explained to me what he did. And I looked into some private sector things, and I kind of came back to U of A and said, hey, that's a good fit for me right now in my life in terms of what I want to do.
Right.
And that was really just, to do something positive, to have a positive effect on some people, and also to spend these last few years with my kids in the house because they were getting older.
Yeah.
And we're now.
Yeah, you got them through high school.
Yeah, I got them through high school. I'm an empty nester now. So I wanted to see those last 4 or 5 years, just having a little more hands-on approach. And it's worked out perfect. And so right now I'm the senior director of development in the Wildcat Club. And so my major responsibilities in the business development part is donor relations. I do philanthropic and major gift solicitation. So I just go into the community. I try to find individuals that either are letter winners, went to the U of A, or love the U of A, and want to make an impact. And Ron, you're one of those gentlemen. That's how we got opportunity to get to know each other.
Yeah.
And I really enjoyed that. And so it's a great job. It's a social job. I like people. I like people that like the U of A as well. So it's a win-win. And at the same time, we make a great impact for our student athletes, that we can go out there, find this money that's philanthropic in nature, that provides scholarships and resources and allows them to go on trips. And these are all the things that I was able to take advantage of as a student athlete. So I'm kind of paying it forward.
Right.
And I really do enjoy that.
Cool. Let's take a quick sponsor break, and we will be right back.
In Marana, community isn't just where we live, it's who we are. And at the heart of it all is the Marana Chamber of Commerce. We are building a thriving community through connected business leadership. We start the month bright and early with Marana Mornings, sparking real conversations and connections. We celebrate growing networks at our 4th Tuesday mixers, hosted in exciting spaces. We unite visionaries and leaders at Impact Marana, driving meaningful progress together. We look ahead with Marana Insights, hearing directly from regional voices about what's next for our town. And we serve through the passion of our board of directors and ambassadors, creating a culture of belonging through service and leadership. Because of our members, we're not just doing more, we're becoming more. Together, we're shaping the future of Marana. We are the Marana Chamber of Commerce.
Looking for a delicious meal or a place to cater your next event? Visit Tucson Tamale Market, located at 7286 North Oracle Road. They're a family-friendly restaurant and market offering authentic tamales and local products. Don't miss out on their summer bi-weekly specials. Try a new $10.99 meal special every couple of weeks. During the summer, enjoy their gift card special. Buy $50 of gift cards for only $40. Stop by and see what's new at Tucson Tamale Market.
Estrella Insurance on Irvington Road will help you with all your insurance needs. If you feel like you have a hard case due to a moving violation, a DUI, a suspended license or a car accident, contact us and come to Estrella Insurance on Irvington Road and get a quote today. Open late hours y hablamos español. Estrella Insurance, an agency you can trust.
My heat and air were in a state of disrepair.
September is here. The kids are in school, football has started, and it's still hot in the old Pueblo. Picture Rock's Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing is your trusted, local, and family-owned air conditioning and plumbing service provider. We have been serving Tucson and the surrounding areas for over 24 years. Call Picture Rock's Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing at 520-492-0748 and go to picturerockschooling.com to set up your next appointment online.
Picture Rocks Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing.
Therapeutic Ranch for Animals and Kids is an inclusive community empowered and united by the strength of the human-animal bond.
It taught me responsibility. It taught me kindness and social interaction.
We have programs for every member of our community.
I love track because I have 2 daughters. We come out here and get all of our energy out.
Track is my home away from home.
You can make a donation or even become a monthly donor.
Thank you for supporting Track, Tucson's Ranch. We hope to see you here soon.
I've had water and mold damage in my house twice. Both times I freaked out, but I called Steamy Concepts right away. If anyone tries to tell you to use someone else, just say no way and call Steamy today.
About a year ago, we had a flood in our kitchen, and we didn't think to call anyone else but Steamy Concepts. They were very professional, and we really enjoyed working with Steamy Concepts.
Steamy Concepts accepts all homeowners insurance. Call Steamy today or go to steamyconcepts.com.
All right, we are back talking with Reggie Geary, and we're talking about the athletic program over at the U of A. And let's just talk a little bit about some of the resources that the student athletes have there, because it's not just for the football players, it's for all the student athletes.
Correct. Yeah. All 520 plus student athletes, benefit from the resources of just being a student athlete there. And so, we've done a really nice job, I think, over the decades of just kind of addressing some issues that back in the 90s we weren't even talking about. You know?
I think several years ago, there was a couple basketball players that they weren't eating because they had to send money home.
Oh, that's always been an issue. Right. That goes back, people coming from different backgrounds, different settings. You never know what their family situations are. And you'll find out a lot of times, whether domestic or international players would be sending money home, wouldn't be eating. And you would think, oh, you're a student athlete, you're taken care of, but not knowing before we went to this NIL and rev share model, it was a very different model. And a lot of times guys were hustling, for meals and hustling for money. And now when you're sending some money home, now things are getting really, really thin. And that's been one of the nice things, going with the NCAA kind of saying, hey, you can have unlimited meals now. Because they, like, as you mentioned, people were seeing food insecurities out of a lot of our kids. Which, you can't be a Division I athlete and not eat and not have nourishment, take care of yourself. And so your body would break down, you would have injuries and stuff. So the NCAA a few years back said, you know what, unlimited food. Like, this is ridiculous. You guys, we were getting 1 meal a day. Now they're getting 3 plus shakes and everything else. So food insecurity is no longer really an issue. Obviously, with NIL and now rev share, how it's set up through the House Act, players are receiving money. And that's obviously been very beneficial. It's taking some of the pressure off. But people need to understand when it comes to the rev share model that only a small percentage of student athletes actually participate in it. I mean, a small percentage of athletes are actually getting money. And so, when you look at some of the revenue generating, obviously football and basketball and for U of A, women's basketball and softball to a degree, and baseball, those that are participating teams that are receiving a little bit of money, but we have 22 teams at the U of A, so that means there's 17 teams that probably receive little to no money student athlete wise. And I don't think people realize that. They just kind of hear about the big flashy stories and think everybody's driving a Mercedes. That's not the case. So for that fact, we do have resources in place, where we can provide student athletes opportunities we talked about the food. Mental health is a really big issue nowadays, especially with social media.
It's way different different than when we were in school.
Way different.
Yeah.
They're inundated at all times. And then now you add that layer with gambling now becoming even bigger and bigger.
Oh, yeah.
We're
the online gambling.
You
can gamble from anywhere.
Yeah, so you got these people, unfortunately, that are targeting these 18, 19, 20-year-olds because they lost a $5 parlay or they've lost some money here, and now they're calling these kids out. And I think, if you don't protect yourself and you're listening to these voices and listening to these, threads or whatever, it can have it can definitely mentally affect you. And we've seen that a lot. And so we put a lot of resources into our mental health program at the U of A and our CATS Academics, where these kids have someone they can speak to 24 hours a day. They can get continuous therapy or continuous talking with someone if necessary. And that's something that was not there, back in the 90s. They'd be like, hey, just rub some dirt on and walk it off kind of mentality.
Exactly.
And so, you know what I mean? And the mental health, the food, our CATS Academics, in terms of tutoring programs, which always has been very good, is even better now in terms of, the computers and the people that they get to work with, because we put a lot on our student athletes. People.
They have a huge schedule.
Huge schedule.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're playing games, they're lifting weights. They are quasi-employees of the university, in all honesty. And so they need these additional resources around them if we are still going to ask them to do what we want them to do on these courts and fields. And so the fact that we have these things, but they don't pay for themselves. And so that's why it's important for the Wildcat Club and for our fan base to be loyal and to be supportive as they always have been.
Sure.
And we're very grateful of that we have a great community here in Tucson.
Yeah.
We have a lot of people that give, a lot of people that love the U of A and love Southern Arizona, and we need more of those. And that's my job to go out there and find those. But for the ones that do give, we are very, very appreciative.
Yeah. We didn't touch on the facilities. I mean, the facilities were upgraded several years ago.
Yeah.
Not only the weightlifting and all that, but also that indoor practice facility.
Yeah. The Davis Sports Center was a huge win for us. It was something that was much needed.
Yeah.
Just being in Southern Arizona with the the weather and in the heat, that was something recruiting wise we've been getting killed on for decades.
Sure.
Hey, why are you going to go to Arizona and you're going to be
practice
out
in 115 degrees.
115, so we were falling a little bit behind the times there in terms of having an indoor facility. So for us to get that built a few years back was huge. It's a great facility. All of our, not only the football team, but everybody can take advantage of it, whether they're doing conditioning or plyometrics or whatever they're at. It has a lot of usage for the space. I believe our softball field is one of the best softball fields in the country. It's right there with the McHale Center. Obviously with all the not big renovations, but some of the things they've done in there to make that more of an exciting atmosphere. Yeah. I think the entertainment level is really high in McHale, which you would probably see it, probably at an NBA game.
Yeah.
That's kind of what you need nowadays.
Yeah.
That's how,
it's entertainment.
Teams, it's entertainment, 100%.
Yeah.
Sports is entertainment. It's never lost on that. But within that entertainment, a lot of good things happen. Football stadium, you saw this past weekend. We had field suites, both on the east side and the north end zone, which was nice. I think people were taking in this is kind of a cool atmosphere.
Yeah.
We've had the Bear Down on the Bash there pregame, and so we're really trying to bring our entertainment value up to bring people out to the ball game. Say, hey, Brent Burnett and his team, they're really working hard to provide you guys a quality team. Yeah. But the U of A is also going to make this a whole family atmosphere. So please, last weekend I was on the field at 3:00 tailgating, popping around. Everyone was having a great time. We went to the Bear Down Bash. We saw the walk. Dusk is out there, Paige repping his group, and Dusk has got they got the musicians and DJs, and so I mean the entertainment level definitely coming up. I think for what we charge and I think it makes sense for families to come out, so we're encouraging people to do that. But facility-wise, I think we're on it.
Yeah.
We still need to do other facilities. I think tennis and baseball. Baseball's had some nice things happen with the track and field.
Okay.
So there's still some work to be done, but we're definitely trending in the right direction.
Okay. Yeah, I love the tailgating, just the whole, atmosphere of it.
Yeah, it's so great. I always encourage people, if you want your kids to go to college, take advantage of the fact that we live here in Tucson in this college atmosphere and get them down there and get them in the red, white, and blue, wearing U of A colors and throwing a football around. I mean, we only have 6 weekends a year. Take advantage of it. Come on out. It's not that much, and you'll have a lot of fun.
Yeah, and that's true. And, we're pretty fortunate this year, or not this year, but last weekend, just because the weather was really nice.
It was.
It was still 100 degrees that day, but it seemed like cooled down. It had a nice low breeze.
Yeah, the breeze was big. The breeze was huge. A little breeze came through. I think the next game is the night game as well. I think it's a 7 p.m. kick.
7 p.m., yep.
So, you can get out there about 3 or 4 o'clock. And, the sun's coming down a little bit.
Yeah.
Temperatures coming down. So it makes it for a nice evening. So, yeah, we definitely caught some good weather last week.
Yep. So, real quick, we have a couple of minutes. How does the upcoming basketball team look?
Man, they're looking strong.
Yeah.
They're looking strong. I mean,
a lot of newcomers.
A lot of newcomers, but we still return 3 or 4 starters. People forget, we still have Jaden Bradley, coming back. We got Deli coming back.
Right.
Tobe Awaka. Mo Kribis is coming out. He was a former starter. So that's 4 guys right there. And then talk about Koa Pede and Braden Burris and some of the other guys. And so I know Tommy and the staff are really excited. They feel they have probably 9 or 10 guys that are solid, kind of a solid rotation. I think Tommy usually likes to play that 8-man rotation. For the fact that he has 10 right now, it's a great sign.
That's exciting.
The energy's been good in the building. I get to go to practice every now and then and kind of check them out. But, I always kind of keep it in the back of my mind is you have to reload and kind of have rosters of this level to compete at the level we want to be in, because the Big 12 is no joke.
Oh no.
Yeah, you know what I mean? You saw Kelvin Sampson last year, and then Houston probably should have won that game. National championship let it slip away at the end, but they've reloaded with the #1 recruiting class in the nation. I mean, BYU, I think they're a top 3 recruiting class in the nation, and so Iowa State can go on, and then obviously our schedule before preseason schedule is just incredible.
Tommy's not scared of scheduling.
He is not. He is not. Reminds me of Coach Olson. That was a Coach Olson thing. We always were a top 5 schedule every single year. I think that's why guys wanted to come to U of A, because you knew, hey, we're going to play the big boys.
Right. And you're going to be on national television.
You're going to have a big stage to showcase yourself. And so, Tommy's taking on all comers this year. We got Florida to open the season, UCLA, Auburn at the house. I'm going to go to UConn. That's even before the Big 12. So you have to have a roster of 8, 9, 10 guys of size, of length, and Arizona has that. So I'm excited for the season. I'm optimistic. I'm nervous just because I know it's murderer's row. But Tommy's done a great job every year, and I expect him to do another one.
Yeah. Well, just real quick before you go, you have a couple kids in college yourself.
Yeah, I do. And so I have a senior over at the U of A, Quincy, and he's doing well, getting a BA in law. And he started his own little fashion brand called Bonsai Studios. Yeah. And it's like a Japanese streetwear, and plays ball every day. And he's doing well. And we're empty nesters now. So we just flew my son out we flew out with my son to University of Cincinnati about a week ago. He got into their conservatory and music program. It's called CCM. And it's a little bit like the U of A basketball. It's a top 3 program in the country.
Oh, cool.
We got out there and met the kids and met the faculty, and it was gangbusters in terms of just how talented everybody was, how accomplished they were. So for him to be in that atmosphere, we're excited for him, how he's growing. He's already qualified for a couple shows through some auditions as a freshman, which was very, very impressed with. But I talked to him last night. He's telling me it sounds like a Division I athlete in terms of the hours they're putting in.
Oh, yeah.
It's a conservatory, so he's doing 3 hours of dance every day. He's doing a couple hours of singing, vocal coach. He's doing the acting, and so he's really out there to be a triple threat. And so I'm a UC dad, but I'm a U of A at heart always.
Of course. Well, Reggie, thank you so much for coming on today.
Yeah, Ron, really always a pleasure, man. You do a great job, and anytime, man. Thanks for having me.
All right, thank you. All right, that's another episode of Southwest Flavor. Join us every Tuesday and Thursday.